Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Ever17, the Out of Infinity. And, hopefully you're hearing me pretty well, because this... Wait, new computer. This, right here, what you're looking at is captured from my brand new computer. Windows 8. Not that bad. I was confused for 5 minutes, but, once you figure out what to actually click on, it's just like any computer that you've ever worked with. Or any Windows. I've never dealt with a Mac or a is there another one? Linux? Yes, that's the other one, right? Yeah. But I've never dealt with those, so yeah, might be completely different, but yeah, anyway, I think my microphone can't be oh, my microphone can't be adjusted, and now I do normal voice. Hopefully I didn't kill your ears or anything. Uh I can't adjust it like I could on the other one. Recorded some Minecraft earlier this morning, and well, it's almost tomorrow now, so it's way earlier this morning. Uh, and when I listened back to it, it was pretty low, so or lower than it was. Maybe it's just the settings on my computer that I'm hearing with. Maybe your computers will all be able to hear me as much as you always did. And it's 2 minutes into this, so yeah, hopefully you're hearing me. I guess we can get on with it. But yeah, let me know if the audio problems are a problem. And if so, I guess the microphone will be next on the docket. I'm putting a lot more money into this hobby than I thought I would. It's worth it, I suppose. But anyway, let's get on with it. So last time we switched places with Takshi, and then switched back, right? Well, last two episodes was that whole ordeal where we got to see Sugumi get hurt, and then it was like the kid switched places with Coco. So now to start the episode off, if I could do that, I could peep down girls' underwear all I wanted. Now it sounds really loud to me. I do not know if that is really loud to y'all. That sounds really loud in my headphones. So let me know. Option menu. It's still only a 1. So 0 cuts it off. So and I don't think this will. As you can see, here's where my audio level is. By the way, I got everything installed that I had to, the screen capture thing. So yeah, that's the same level that I've always had it on, but it sounds really, really loud in my head and my ears. So hopefully it's all right for you guys. I do apologize if it's not. I don't know if that controls the microphone level. If you see, I had it turned down, and then I really couldn't hear me earlier when I tested it. And then I turned it back up, and I could hear me at a moderate level. So I don't know which way to. You know what? Let's split the difference. Ding. Okay, that's splitting the difference. If that's too low, you guys tell me what I need to do. Okay. Cool. Let's get with this. I made a stab at a joke. Wow, what an inappropriate joke. The fact that I could do so surprised me somewhat.
バカ。
Moron.
スカートの中ならまだしも、パンツの中なんて覗くんじゃないの。
Smack. Sarah whacked me on the head a couple times. Thinking the whole situation out, I started to laugh.
しかし元気そうだよね、少年。昨べはあのまま あっちの世界へ行っちゃうんじゃないかと思ってヒヤヒヤしたけど、その様子だと全然問題ないみたいね。あれ、覚えてないの？少年ブクブクと泡吹いて倒れてたじゃない。
Did that happen? What?
うん、浜辺に打ち上げられたカニみたいにね。チョキチョキ。たけしに呼ばれてみんなが集まってきた時にはすでにそんな状態だったの。
Seems like I
で
remember
もって
something
しょう
like
がない
that,
か
but I
ら
don't know
みん
the
なで少
exact
年を担
place.
ぎ上げてこの救護室に運び込んだってわけ。了解？
I got it.
君は知らないと思うけどさ、とにかくすごい大騒ぎだったんだから。まったく人騒がせなやっちゃの。
Sarah slapped me gently on the cheek. My head turned aside with the force, and from that position I asked, "Hey, where was I passed out?"
更衣室の鏡の前だよ。
Oh. So he was Was he unconscious the whole time? The changing room. It's a rectangular room, and stuck to the back wall was a large mirror. The bench had been returned to its original position. I walked up to the mirror. I didn't recognize my face. I didn't recognize this kid. Touch my eyebrow with my right hand. Touch his eyebrow with his left hand. Maybe he has a really confusing webcam like I do, because it looks on this it's on the left side of the screen, which is over there. Maybe that's what it is, a very confused camera or something. A, B, C, D, E. The sounds I uttered came to my ears. The kid in the mirror mouthed the exact same words, but of course I couldn't hear his voice. Good. If he started saying Z, Y, X, W, V, I was going to say that. It's going to be pretty silly. I reached out my left hand to touch him. He put out his right hand and did the same thing. My nails hit the hard surface of the glass with a click. But I couldn't reach him. Looking closely, I could see a face floating over his left shoulder. Two pairs of eyes stared intensely at me. It had to be an evil spirit. Maybe he was even being possessed. That's so sad. He's been taken over by a demon. And as soon as I said that to myself, I realized that he was looking at me. What? I'm being possessed.
ちわ
Sarah. I jumped about 3 feet in the air, bending backwards as I leapt. Like some crazy matrixy move. But when did you get here?
ー。拙者にとっては足音を消して忍び寄るなんてことはたやすいことなのでござるよ。に。
Really? Apparently the person who'd been looking over my shoulder was Sarah.
だって少年、何にも言わないで出て行っちゃうんだもん。
So you went and followed me.
うん。
Sarah had grabbed onto her tied-up hair with both hands and was swinging it back and forth.
で、鏡がどうかした？
She pointed in the mirror with the tip of her hair. Well,
ちょっと何？
I pulled Sarah by the arm over to stand in front of the mirror. Both of our images were reflected on the mirror surface. The left and right side of her face was reflected back in reverse, but there was no mistaking it was her. My face, on the other hand. Hey, who's that reflected in the mirror?
はい？意味がわからないんですけど。
This kid. Kid standing next to you. Who is he?
はあ。また例の厄介な発作が始まっちゃったわけね。
Come on, I'm being serious. Is this really my face?
君の顔じゃなくて誰の顔だっていうのさ。
I guess you're right. I knew the answer, but I still needed to check. This kid was me. I thought you had a vest on, didn't you? That right there would be a That'd be something you could look down and check. See that it didn't match up. Or maybe it does somehow in this. I don't know. The face reflected in the mirror was mine.
大丈夫？
Yeah, I'm fine. But I'm also not fine.
どっちなのよ。
A pouting Sarah was in the mirror. I looked at her figure in the reflection. She looked back at me. Our gazes intersected and overlapped at the same space at the same time. I couldn't remember my own face. I couldn't remember, and I still can't remember it. It's not you, kid. Of course, I understand that the person reflected in the mirror is me. But how can I say it? It doesn't feel real.
なるほど。
That's why I passed out in front of the mirror last night. The face reflecting back at me in the mirror felt like someone else, someone I didn't know.
でもさ、何も泡吹くほど驚くようなことじゃないんじゃないの？ある日突然鏡の中に救いようのないへちゃむくれな顔が映ってたとしたら、確かに私だってそっとしちゃうと思うけどさ。少年の顔はそんなに悪くはないんだし、逆にああ僕はこんなにまともな顔をしてたんだって普通だったら安心すると思うんだけどな。
Sarah glanced at the mirror and took a good look at my face.
私どっちかっていうと好きだよ、この顔。
And so saying, Sarah pointed the tip of her hair at me.
なんでか教えてあげようか。君の顔ちょっと私に似てるから。
Really? Look like I look like you? I stared intently at Sarah's face.
そう思わない？
Suddenly a vast swirling pattern came into my mind. It spun round and round, round and round, paralyzing my ability to think. I don't think so. Took all my will to mumble just that.
そうかな。目元のあたりとか似てると思うんだけどな。あー、なんでそんな嫌そうな顔するかな。褒めてるんだよ。っていうか、ある意味自画自賛でもあるんだけど。
Seems more like it. Sarah started smiling shyly, and then, all of a sudden, she tickled my nose with the tip of her hair. Hey, what are you doing? I jumped back away from her. Sarah smiled mischievously. The smell of her hair seeped into my mind. It was a smell somehow so familiar, almost animal and private. The conference room. I was sitting in a chair, stuffing my mouth with a chicken witch sandwich. Oh, chicken witch sand. I had grown bored of the chicken sandwiches, so I invented my own version, a slice of bread between two pieces of meat. It was definitely a needed change of pace. Sarah was sitting directly in front of me. Sarah was eating straight from a head of lettuce with nothing but ketchup as a topping. Muttering in a voice so small I could barely hear, she was saying, "I'm not getting enough vegetables. I'm just not getting enough vegetables." Say, where'd everybody else run off to? With ketchup smeared around her lips, Sarah answered me.
空は制御室、ノッキョ先輩は警備室、たけしは私が見た時にはメリーゴーランドに乗って一人で遊んでた。つぐみは相変わらず行方不明。倉庫の修理が完了したからみんな適当に一息入れてるんだと思うよ。
So what do you have planned next, Sarah?
別にどうもしないよ。ただひたすらレタスを食べながら救出されるのを待つだけ。
Guess that's a plan. Weird plan, but plan. Sarah kept munching the lettuce, making a crunching sound as she bit into the core. By the way, Sarah, what were you doing up until now?
少年の見張り。
Watching over me?
ゆうべ少年を救護室に運び込んだ後、私たちは交代で少年の見張りをすることになったの。突然暴れ出したりするんじゃないかと思って、その用心のために。で、ついさっきまで私がその当番だったのね。 だけどちょっと目を離してる隙に少年がいなくなっちゃって、あれどこ行ったんだと思って救護室の外に出てみたら、
When you found me crying.
そういうこと。
Finishing off my sandwich, I reached over to the lettuce in Sarah's hands and ripped off a leaf. Using my index finger, I wiped off some excess ketchup smeared around Sarah's mouth, dabbed it on my lettuce, and ate it. What should I do next? I muttered to myself. Just sitting here is getting boring. I know I went to see you in her path. He hadn't made it to the warehouse yet in this path. Actually, he hasn't, has he? In the warehouse is when he started getting answers in the last pass, so. It's saved though, so we can go back here if we need to. Crap. But I feel like maybe if we go and see you, it'll start shedding more answers on stuff quicker. And maybe we can get to the bottom of that whole story quicker. And if you can get to it quicker, maybe you can solve the whole thing and everything will be all good. But yeah, we're gonna go to the warehouse. Well, I guess I'll take Sarah to visit the warehouse. Had there really been an accident which had flooded the warehouse? I wanted to see for myself. Sarah. Think you'd join me for a bit?
いいけど、レタス食べ終わってからでいい？
Sarah spoke with her face still covered in ketchup. Sure. I decided to wait for Sarah to finish her meal. While waiting, I asked her a question. So tell me, why ketchup and not dressing? I need to sneeze. Sneeze. Done. Her answer was straightforward.
トマト好きだから。
Oh.
太陽の味がするでしょ？
Never eaten the sun. So, inside of the warehouse, the air was filled with a sticky human smell. And the floor was covered with enough water to just cover our shoes. Around the room lay pipes, many of which looked to have been recently welded to repair damage. So there really was some kind of flooding here.
私の言ったこと信じてなかったの？
Of course I believed you, but there's a difference between hearing something and seeing it for yourself. I mean, there's way more impact.
インパクト？
You know, the impact from realizing I saw this all in a dream.
予知夢ね。
Well, I don't know if I could really call it a premonition or not, but I mean, Sugumi didn't get hurt, right? Besides, I said this and stopped, sweeping my eyes across the room. The scene was almost exactly as if I had dreamed it, but one thing was different. There had been a pile of scrap material stacked high, but now it was stacked on the floor. In my dream, the warehouse was completely submerged in water. But by the looks of it here, everything seems fine. Wonder if you could still call that a premonition.
さあ、私に聞かれても。
Isn't a premonition? Isn't pre the big word there, which means you saw it before instead of during or after? Just saying. I'm sure the dream could have happened before it happened, but could have happened it probably happened during. Sarah, was the warehouse arranged like this from the start?
Huh?
See those containers and metal pipes lined up over there? I asked her while pointing to the rows of scrap metal. Were those stacked up in one tall pile before?
そんな細かいこといちいち覚えてないよ。
Yeah, I guess you're right. No, I expected to have pinpoint photographic memory. He would be very disappointed in me if that's what he wanted. Besides that one point, nothing else seemed out of place, except I was amazed at how calm I felt analyzing the situation. Premonitions, the Phantom Girl, the mirror affair, amnesia, considering the countless number of strange things I had experienced. I was surprisingly calm. Not thinking such strange events, as strange was in itself. Strange. Was I desensitized to everything? Or maybe I just had never been the type to think too deeply about things. That's the time for aliens to pop up. He'd be like, everybody'd be like, ah, aliens! He'd be like, okay. Desensitized. I didn't know why, but I felt fine about the situation. I walked a loop through around the entire warehouse and returned to where I started. What is that movie, The Abyss? I've only seen that movie once. And if I only see a movie once, I can't remember it very well. Was it kind of like this? Sort of? Nothing quite like it. But it was an underwater facility, wasn't it? Only to find Sarah was gone. At that same moment, I heard a sound. Like something pounding powerfully against a steel wall. I searched for the origin of the sound. A small door suddenly jumped into my field of vision. Was that there just a minute ago? It wasn't, was it? That's the whole point of it. See what I mean? He'd be very, very sorely disappointed in my photographic memory. In front of the door stood Sarah. Sarah! I let out a yell and ran to her. What happened? I asked, standing at Sarah's side.
別にどうもしないよ。
Sarah acted like there was nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, she seemed so normal that normal didn't begin to describe it well enough. The bashing sound continued unabated. It was coming from beyond the door. It sounded like someone was throwing their body against the door. Whoa! Him? Me? I don't know who it's supposed to be. And they weren't holding back. It was an explosive force, almost animal in intensity. The sound reverberated to the core of my body, rattling my brain. Who is it? Hey, who's there? I yelled at the door.
はあ?
Confused, Sarah reached out and touched the door panel. The door opened. Nobody's in here. The room inside was dark, but even before I could turn on the lights, I could tell there was no one inside. So then, what was that noise just now? I turned around and looked at Sarah.
ねえ、さっきから何わけわかんないこと言ってんの?
What do you mean, no clue? I'm just asking, what was that noise just now?
音って何さ?
He's not getting that she can't hear it. A noise, noise. Like... The sound of someone ramming into the door, that noise.
はあ、疲れた。
What?
もういい加減、そういうのに付き合うの疲れちゃった。
Sarah said this to me with a scornful look on her face. What are you talking about?
その言葉、そっくりそのままお返ししますけど。どういうこと？私の名前を知ってたり、予知みたいなことを言ってみたり、いるはずのない女の子に会った？ 鏡の中の自分が別人に思える？で、今度はおまけに幻聴ですか。悪いけど、もうそういうのには付き合いきれないのよね。
Hearing sounds that aren't there. You mean you couldn't hear it, Sarah?
答えるのもめんどくさいけど、聞こえなかった。
So, why were you standing in front of that door?
だから、別に理由なんかないってば。ただ扉の向こう側が、つまりこの部屋の中がどうなってるのか知りたかっただけ。
Are you serious?
そんなことで嘘ついてどうすんのよ。まだマップの中で行ったことのない場所があったら誰だって行きたくなるでしょ。まだ開けてない宝箱があったら誰だって開けてみたくなるでしょ。まだ話しかけてない村人がいたら誰だって話しかけてみたくなるでしょ。
I see. Sarah's discomfort showed clearly on her face. Her eyes were frightened. So I... Really, I don't know what came over me. There's only so much uncomfortable laughter I can do. I decided to try to play it off by laughing. Not thinking strange events as strange was becoming not so strange after all. When enough coincidences happen, one after the other, they stop being coincidence and start to become unavoidable. What's more, having encountered strange phenomena so often they seem like old acquaintances, I started to think that nothing could faze me. What a time to suddenly become philosophical. Spiritual awakening, enlightenment, yes, that's very close to enlightenment, but even better. Nirvana. I felt like there was nothing left to be afraid of. Ha ha! My laughing voice reverberated throughout the room.
あっちゃ、いたたたたたた。
It seems my laughing had only proved to increase Sarah's frustration and doubt in me, but I didn't care. And the look she gave me, like I was some kind of weirdo, well, that didn't bother me either. Well, you did mention at the beginning of the episode about looking down girls' underwear, so... Actually, there's probably weirder stuff that you could think of. I began to dance lightly, circling around the small room like some Polynesian tribal dancer. But it made me dizzy, so I stopped. I think he just snapped. But he just started laughing uncontrollably and running around the room dancing. Yeah, he snapped. Out of breath, I leaned against the nearest wall for support. In front of me, I noticed a small square window. From outside the window, faint moonlight shone in. Huh? Moonlight? Sarah must have noticed the direction of my gaze because she began to walk toward the window. Speaking toward her backside, I said, "Oh, good grief. She's gonna think you're more crazy, kid. Why'd there be a window in a place like this?" Sarah's feet
こ
stopped.
れが窓に見えるの？
She said this as she spun around. Isn't it a window? Caused the light?
光？
Sarah shuffled backwards and planted her back against the wall.
光って今言ったよね。
Yeah.
これが光ってるように見えるの？
Heat vision. Wait. Now, did that part, does she see that too? Whoa. So she's gonna be more about more believing towards him. It's probably, I don't know why. I'm probably sure there's a much better word than that, but it ain't coming to me right now. More, she might believe him a little bit easier. Yeah, why don't I just say that? Why don't I just say that? That makes a lot more sense. But anyway, yeah. So this might start changing your mind about him being insane, despite the fact he just danced around the room like a Polynesian tribal dancer. Uh, so, yeah, that's where I'm going to end it off at. Let me know how the audio sounds to you guys. Hopefully you can get back to me. I probably won't do one tomorrow. I might. But I do want some feedback from somebody whose system has not been affected by any changes. I haven't had very many computers. I remember when I got the last one 4.5 years ago. I don't remember anything too drastic. Probably was, but I just can't remember it. But getting everything set up just the way it was, or close to it, for stuff like, well, I wasn't doing this 4 years ago. This wasn't a hobby I had, so yeah, it was something I didn't have to worry about then. But just getting your internet stuff set up right. I'm using Internet Explorer again. I think I'm gonna have to switch back to Firefox though. I guess it can work on Windows 8. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, getting the settings all set up right. Maybe this is okay. I don't know. Let me know though. Let me know if this is too loud, too quiet. The same? It doesn't feel like it's the same, but maybe it is. So yeah, let me know that, and I'll try to adjust it for the next one. But anyway, despite any changes that might have happened, I do hope you folks enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one. Farewell.